Hello everyone, welcome back to the Certified Lights channel. My name is Mateo Young, and today I'll be showing you how to fully install a landscape lighting system on a residential property. A typical installation begins by prepping the equipment. This makes the actual installation more seamless at the job site. Once that's done, we'll locate a spot on the home where the transformer would be most suitable. This is either on the side of the home or inside of a garage. After the transformer is installed, we'll run cable to the furthest fixture on the property. This helps us make sure that we've measured all the cable correctly. Once that's done, we'll dig a hole for each fixture on the property, and then we'll splice, trench, and cover the cable. All the products we use on this video can be found on our website. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you'll want to do at the job site is to make sure you have all of the necessary equipment. Here, you can see the equipment that we use for this install. We keep several types of digging equipment to make it easier to dig into different types of soil around roots and trenching. This auger, produced by Power Planner, has saved us a huge amount of time during our landscape lighting installs. It can dig the right size hole for the fixture in just seconds and does not leave a pile of dirt behind. We highly recommend adding it to your toolbox if you're part of an installation company. Some other notable tools that we use are the rubber mallet to secure fixtures in place in the ground while not damaging the metal, wire caps with built-in grease to ensure moisture stays out of your connections, and of course the fixtures, the transformer, and the cable you'll be installing. Before beginning the install, we always prep our fixtures and unbox all of the new equipment. For prepping the fixtures, all we do is remove it from the plastic bag and install the MR16, Par 36, or any other lamp in the casing, depending on if the fixture is a well light, spotlight, path light, or any other model. You'll notice that we put the fixtures back into the plastic bag after adding the bulb. We do this to keep the dirt, water, and other debris away from the fixture during the install so that the client sees a clean fixture when you're done installing. After prepping all the equipment, you're ready to install. You'll need to identify a place around the exterior of the home where you can install the transformer. For this particular home, we found that this side of the property is suitable for installing the transformer because it is out of the walkway, and the customer informed us that an outlet would be installed in that area for the landscape lights. Once the transformer location has been identified, we bring over the transformer, the metal braided cable, drill bits, and any other necessary equipment. We begin by threading the power cable from the inside of the box through one of the designated holes at the bottom, and then marking a place on the wall where the transformer will be installed. For this, you want to make sure that you are drilling and marking the grout and not the brick, as drilling into the brick may cause it to crack over time, leading to property damage for your customer. Once you have drilled the hole for installing the transformer, you can then install the screw, mount the transformer, and secure it with the installed screws. You'll then want to do the same thing for the bottom to make sure that the transformer is safely secured onto the wall of the property. Once you have the transformer fully mounted and secured, you're ready to begin wiring. A couple of useful tips here is to always work with the power on, which is safe because the system is entirely low voltage. We work with the power on to help us ensure that our fixtures are wired properly and the cable is working as intended. Another tip is to remove the door of the transformer to make the inside of it more accessible while securing the electrical wire. We begin with a metal braided power cable at the transformer to minimize any potential damage to the wire before it is buried underground. This steel braided cable is perfect for outdoor use and can withstand a few nicks from lawnmowers or wild animals chewing on it. Installing it is very simple. You just separate the two wires and connect the live and ground wire in the corresponding holes inside of the transformer. You then replace the bottom of the transformer, ensuring that both the power and the connecting cables are snugly within the rubber hole. You are nearly finished installing and connecting the transformer. You can now replace the transformer door, as we don't need access to the inside of the box anymore, and we can finish securing the transformer cable to the wall. For this, we'll simply mark the wall, like we did when securing the transformer, drill a hole into the grout, and use metal brackets with screws into the grout to secure the metal braided cable to the wall. This gives the system a neat and professional look, and also ensures that the cable is not easily pulled off unintentionally. Now that we have the transformer fully installed, we can begin trenching and running the cable to our fixtures. As we mentioned earlier, it is very useful to have multiple types of shovels with you at the job site. Using a regular shovel can create a messy look and displaces a lot more dirt than what is really necessary to bury this cable. We recommend using something like this edger shovel or a flat-edged short shovel to make the trenches. The goal here is not to make a hole, but to make a thin trench about 6 inches deep that you can recover quickly and make look natural once you're done. This particular soil was very muddy and would have been difficult to cover back up using a regular shovel, but using this edger shovel helped speed up the process. You may notice that we are trenching away from the wall. This is because the foundation of the property was oddly laid out, and it was more efficient to create some distance between the wall and the cable for this specific installation. Before trenching the entire path for the cable, we first trench and bury the first few meters of the cable to ensure that it stays in place while we are working on the fixtures. You'll want to ensure that this trench is at least 6 inches deep, and you can measure this by using a hand shovel with markings on it. Once we have trenched the first section of the cable run, we then go back and connect the cable to the transformer line that we installed earlier. All you need to do here is strip about an inch off the tips of the cables, join together the metal wire, and use the cable caps that we mentioned earlier. These caps are super effective in keeping the splice sealed and protected. To use them, you just pop the joined cables into the cap and twist until you feel resistance. For safe measure, we wrap both of the caps with electrical tape before fully burying the wire. The last step in this process is to put the joined cables into the trench you just dug and cover it back up with the dirt you previously removed. Then, starting from the transformer, you can bury the cable along the trench until you're ready to run more wire. Trenching and burying this section first makes sure that the cable leading up to the transformer is secured and does not get pulled while you are working on installing the fixtures down the line. Once the cable is buried, we cover it back up with the displaced dirt. In this instance, we used a plastic bag to shape the muddy soil and to keep the boots from getting too muddy during the burying process. After having done this initial step, we then run the cable to the furthest fixture. Now that we have the cable run, we're ready to install our first fixture. The first fixture that we'll be installing at this property is an uplight. We'll begin by trenching and burying the wire leading up to the predetermined fixture location. This process is the exact same that we just did for the cable trenching and burial for the transformer. An important thing to note when installing fixtures is to be aware of anything that may be below the ground at the fixture location. In this instance, we had to push back the fixture location a few inches to stay clear of the sprinkler line that was already underground. The tool you see here is an auger made by Power Planter. This is a fantastic tool to dig the right size hole in just seconds, whereas digging the same hole with a regular shovel would take a lot longer and leave a lot more mess behind. Once you have dug the hole where the fixture will be located, you'll want to insert the fixture's stake. When we dug the hole, we made sure to leave it a few inches shorter than the stake itself. We do this to make sure that the stake is well secured in the ground. Once you have the stake in the hole, we use the rubber mallet to finish securing it in place. The final steps here are to splice the fixture cable and the power cable together and install the fixture onto the stake that is already in the ground. To splice the cables together, you'll strip the ends of both of the wires, just like when connecting the transformer, bring the copper wires together, and use the cable caps to seal the splice together. The last steps in installing the uplight fixtures is to mount the fixture onto the stake that we previously installed. Once you take the fixture out of the bag, you want to set it at the angle that is best suited for that location. It is easiest to do this before you install it on the stake, but it can always be adjusted later. You'll notice here that we twist the fixture before installing it on the stake. This is because the wire gets twisted as you're screwing the fixture onto the stake, and pre-twisting it beforehand helps eliminate any potential damage to the cable. You'll also notice that installing the fixture fully on the stake causes the fixture to point the wrong way. To adjust this, simply adjust the nut that is at the base of the fixture, and it will allow you to fully tighten the fixture while still pointing it the right direction. The final step here is to bury the stake and the rest of the cable, and then you'll have a fully installed transformer and permanent uplight fixture. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that like button and check out our website for more training, tips, and products.